Hello everybody! Hi. The music you hear now is a track that I've heard in the background of many videos of all sorts of creators. It's a great song after all, nothing wrong with that. But one day, when I finally decided to look into what this song was actually from, I got a huge blast from the past. It was Bomberman Hero on the Nintendo 64. There are many games I played only once as a child on many systems, and Bomberman Hero was one of them that I remember most. I have a vivid memory of my dad bringing this game home one night, and my older brother and I just watched him play it. I did get to play the game once myself, but unfortunately this was just a rental and he brought it back to the store before I'd gotten home from school the next day. All this time into the future, and I still have never touched the game. All I remember about it is one or two of the first stages, but because I hear this part of the soundtrack all over YouTube and have even used it myself, I figured it's high time to finally sit down and beat this game. This opening sequence got me excited. Right off the bat, we see Bomberman take to the skies to take care of business. Then we see clips of him snowboarding, being a submarine, and becoming a helicopter, I guess? That last one aside, this game looked like it was going to give me a lot of action, but funny enough, they didn't show any of the 3D platforming segments here. If you didn't know, most of this game actually plays out as a 3D platformer, and we only get to see these devices used in a few levels here and there throughout the game. But let's get started here. Right off the bat, this game does everything pretty well. Running and jumping are your only movement options, and the physics feel great. The one thing I had to get used to while playing though is the fact that when you jump forward with full speed, you can't just spin around and go back to where you came from. There are times that I would jump as a reflex to catch my footing, and end up actually losing my footing and falling off of a ledge that I wouldn't have otherwise. The other button this game uses is for tossing and laying bombs. You can do both of these while in the air or on the ground, and if you lay a bomb on the ground, you can even kick it forward by running into it. Honestly, the controls in this game feel great, and it was very easy to shmove around after a little bit of time. The last crucial part of Bomberman's moveset that I want to mention is the ledge grab. This ledge grab saved me so many times where I would have fallen and lost a life. That wouldn't be so bad, but dying in this game brings you all the way back to the beginning of the level, so it's nice that you can save yourself in this way. It feels really good to use, and it makes the game all the more fun to hop around in. But enough about how Bomberman controls, I want to talk about these levels. This game is nothing game-breaking, but what it does well. We've got a fixed camera, and every platforming stage is pretty much just a straight line, either forward or to the right. It almost feels like a natural evolution of platforming coming from 2D to 3D at the time this was released. There are set paths you can travel, but they also do a good job of hiding secret paths and rewarding exploration. The stages aren't very long, at least in the first half, so it feels very good to search through an entire stage and collect all the gems. The gems in these stages, though, don't actually end up mattering much. As it turns out, this game was released in a time where all video games had high score counters still. Ah yes, a blast from the past. So, while you can take your time and collect all of these things, you can also just zoom past everything and get to the end of every stage without worrying about it. It kinda defeated the purpose for me to collect them once I realized they didn't amount to anything in the long run, but it is still satisfying to pick them all up. Plus, if you do actually want to shoot for a high score, you'll get a higher rank and a special colored badge on the planet when you complete it. I always get red because I generally get a medium to low amount of points in every level. Okay, enough about everything else. Let's get to what the intro was showing us. I want to see the jetpack, the snowboard, the weird helicopter thing, whatever, the submarine. Those have got to be cool. And they kind of are? I don't usually dislike this sort of gameplay, but this game doesn't really seem to know what it's trying to accomplish here. The jetpack sections are basically Star Fox 64, but less cool. The submarine sections are basically Star Fox 64, but you can go backwards and it's slower. The snowboard level is actually kinda nice, and the helicopter levels just feel like a weird minigame. When the whole core of the game plays like this, I don't really want to be thrown into playing this, you know? It's fine enough that they don't show up too often, but when there's roughly one per area on the planet, it's almost always not the snowboard one, and that upsets me. The snowboard levels still feel challenging and had platforming elements that tested skill, but the other ones just kinda dropped the ball on that. I will say, at the very least, near the end of the game it is nice to switch up the gameplay between a few platforming levels. And that's all I can really say about this game. I suppose we could talk about the story, but it's basically just Super Mario Bros. Having you chase down a princess and then, oh, she's in another castle. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, feel free to subscribe, because I'm doing it all the time. And let me know in the comments if you have any other weird Nintendo 64 games that I should beat next. Until next time, my name is Myloe, and I'm out.